Here are some of my novels, and you can find them in Librerías Gandhi. Well, in the end, I think there are novels for everybody. Yeah, some people like fantasy, some people like horror novels, and some people like romance novels. Now, my particular novels are more dramatic than they are about romantic fantasy. So I try to write novels that move the reader through all the emotions of life. And to me, that makes the story very memorable because it feels as if you've lived a mini life between the covers. And I think that's what some people at least, want when they read novels. They want to escape into them, feel as if they could be the characters, feel all the emotions that the characters feel, and live an entire story while reading the novel. Well, romantic literature has been around since the beginning of literature, of course. You've seen it with the Greek tragedies, or you've seen it with William Shakespeare and Romeo and Juliet. You've seen it in Grimm's fairy tales with Cinderella or Sleeping Beauty or Snow White. So this is a genre that has been around for a long time, and I think people enjoy it now for the same reasons they enjoyed it then. Because it strikes them as stories that feel real, that stories that could have happened to them. And that hasn't changed over the centuries. Well, I think there's a difference between what's traditionally regarded as romance literature and the types of novels that I write. While my novels certainly have romantic elements, they also have tragic elements. Whereas most romance literature don't really have tragedy. They deal with happy endings. But I think readers and writers can learn from both, because love is one of the primary emotions of life. And the more you make emotions real in any story, the more real that story feels. And that doesn't matter what genre you work in, whether it's mystery, thriller, or a horror novel. If you make the emotions real, the story will resonate. And of course, a lot of literature that can be regarded as romantic does exactly those things. Jane Austen, for instance, in Little Women. Yeah, it's a wonderful feeling to know that I wrote The Notebook. The Notebook will actually hit its 25th anniversary next year. So it's been out for a long time, and not every book remains a cultural phenomena after 25 years. So I feel very fortunate. I feel very thankful, and it's been very exciting to me to watch new generations discover the story. And I believe that's going to continue, because I think The Notebook will be going to Broadway soon. And so there will be an entirely new version of it, a version of The Notebook with music on Broadway. And I can't wait to see it. It's interesting to see the readers. Early on, you might have one person in a family who's reading the book. And then at the 10-year mark, you found out that mothers were sharing their books with their daughters. And now I've reached the point where I might have 3 generations show up at a book signing: a grandmother, a mother, and a daughter. And that's been very exciting to know that my novels have influenced an entire family and brought a family enjoyment. Yeah, I've always been thrilled to have my novels adapted into films. And I've been fortunate because all of the films have been very good and people have enjoyed them. Audiences have responded. They're very popular once they leave the theater, and they can be streamed or seen on cable or satellite television or network television. And it's nice to know that there's another way for people to experience the stories. And that's essentially how I see it. It just exposes these stories to more people, and hopefully they enjoy them. I believe it's just very important to really, truly, and deeply understand who you are and what you want, your strengths and your weaknesses, your dreams, and the dreams you know you can reach, and the dreams you suspect that you probably won't. And it's important because we all have just one life, and it's up to us to make the most of that life. And if you don't really understand who you are, objectively, subjectively, how on earth can you ever know where you're going?